Sensor scan to 1/2 parsec.
On screen.
Weapons or maximum?
It's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Open a channel?
All Vipers, break!
Impossible to see the future.
This is the emergency holographic doctor speaking.
You waste the energy talking.
Helmsman laid a new course.
From the wind. Watch how I saw.
Shiny Captain, head to front.
Now, it's gone completely.
Engage.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Save Sci-Fi podcast. If you haven't checked us out on Facebook, it's just Facebook/Save Sci-Fi. It's really easy to find. Joining me today, we have my friend Alex.
Hello.
And joining us once again, we have Stuart, who I might call Donovan, because we had Donovan on last week. And for some reason, the whole way through Supanova, I was calling him Donovan, and I don't know why.
What's up, guys? I may be feeling like a truck ran over me, but I'm still here for the podcast.
Excellent. So this week we are talking Supanova wrap-up, since Supanova Brisbane has just finished yesterday. And later on we are also going to talk about what we think about the Star Wars trailer and the Jurassic World trailer. Well, Star Wars teaser. So anyway, that's the intro over and done with. So let's move on to Supanova. If you had to choose your favourite thing that you did at Supanova, Alex, what would it have been?
Well, probably when I bought that sharpened spear.
You and your stabby things. Why do I trust you to sit next to me?
Oh, what kind of spear did you buy?
A real one. It wasn't a prop.
One of the groups there that had all the weapons down the front had a spear, and it was a proper shafted metal head spear, which could probably do a lot of damage if somebody was angry.
I'd never do that. Never do such things.
Okay. What was your favourite bit? I saw you in there in your Power Ranger stuff and your Jedi stuff. What did you get up to?
I was dying in my Jedi gear. So Saturday, I actually part of a Facebook group called Ranger Force, and we spent the entire day with Austin St. John and Walter Jones, who are the original Black and Red Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So we spent the day with them, did photo shoots with them, did the 360 Sci-Fi fan cam with them, and at the end of the day also did a group shot with everyone in our costumes with them.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and then Sunday I was in my Jedi gear dying.
Yeah.
I should never.
So you didn't make it in on Friday?
Friday was just a day to myself. I usually just have one day to myself, and that's usually Friday, where it's just scat around and buy stuff.
Yeah.
So I bought me Gundam Wing, Endless Waltz, and the new Dragon Ball Z anime movie.
Nice. Did you hear Hawk had an interesting run-in with Matthew Riley, and I hate to steal his story, but he's not here, so he misses out on telling the story.
Actually, no, I haven't heard about that.
What happened was, Matthew Riley is one of the best Australian authors that I know of. Very few people... Well, put it this way, I've got more of his books on my shelf than anybody else. One of his key stories is the Ice Station Scarecrow series. So it's Ice Station...
My favourite.
Area 7...
I love... Scarecrow is such a good book.
What are the other ones? Hell Island is his short story he wrote. There's Scarecrow, and there's Company of Thieves, I think is the last one in that, most recent one in that series. Anyway, he was in his full tack gear. He had his face mask on, the lot. And he walks up to Matthew Riley to get the next book signed. And Matthew Riley goes, "Oh my god, you're dressed as Scarecrow." So he has been rebranded as Scarecrow by Matthew Riley, the writer of the Scarecrow series. So from now on...
I was wondering why he got that nickname.
From now on, I'll be calling him Scarecrow. And Greg from Anime Night, that we go to on the every second or so weekend with Banff, he actually got rebranded Black Knight. So we've now got Scarecrow and Black Knight in our troupe of anime fans, so that's pretty cool. Just sort of trying to think while I was talking about what was my highlight of Supanova. And to me, there is one thing that stands above everything else. Sci-Fi Channel ran a contest on their Facebook page, of Sci-Fi Australia, SyFy Australia, whatever you want to call it. And it was, the winning comment gets to go in their 360, their FanCam 360 with two of the Battlestar Galactica celebrities. I said that I was an admin on the Facebook page and I could get at least 3 people in Battlestar Galactica gear to join me. And so I won the pass. So what I did was I hunted around. I got Greg, a couple of Greg's mates. Couldn't get my hands on David. He was busy at the time, and Scarecrow, and he's absolutely pissed that he was too busy to sort of make it. I got Alex here and her sister in tack gear that I've got. I've got 5 sets of tack gear I made up for a short film that never happened. They got dressed up in that. I got dressed up as McKay. I brought my spare guns with me, and we went last, so we waited to the end. Oh, I forgot one important point. I'd been talking to Tori Higginson, aka Dr. Weir. I invited her to join us on the pad. So what does she do? She says yes. Sure enough, 4 o'clock on the dot, she comes wandering over to where the groups are waiting to go up on stage and have our photo taken. So we're the only one that has the 2 guys from Battlestar Galactica and Tori Higginson forming a circle with a heap of people in tack gear, all aiming our guns out at the camera with the exception of me hiding in the middle looking at my tablet. Because I'm McKay and McKay hides. So
yep. Yeah, but you would hide it anyway, though.
Yeah. So that would by far be my sort of highlight. Close sort of second to that would have to be meeting Alan.
Tudyk, yeah.
Yeah, Tudyk, that's it. For some reason, there's... how did that last name? It's just like random letters. Not the point.
Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, Alan. And as some of you guys have seen on the page, we did the Ultimate Starship Crew. And Alan won Engineer. I then turned the Ultimate Starship Crew into an A3 painting and had it printed on canvas. When he saw that, he went nuts. He was just like, what the heck? What is that? That's awesome. So I got my photo taken with him holding that with me. I then took it and got it signed by him. And the picture of him holding it signed by him. So yeah, he was absolutely amazed by this thing. Pictureception. And then he noticed that in the picture of us holding this thing, getting the photo taken, in the picture, it's not signed. So he got down really close and as neatly as he could, signed the photograph of us holding this thing over the same spot where he had only just signed his name. So if you take a really close look at it, it's signed over his picture in the picture of the picture, but it's really chunky pen. It looks really funny. I then wandered over to Grant Imahara from Mythbusters.
Oh, Grant was awesome.
And Star Trek Continues. He's great. He took one look at it and he was just absolutely gobsmacked. He couldn't even process what he was looking at until I explained it to him. It was definitely an amusing reaction. So
I have a funny story about Grant.
What did you do to Grant? How many times have I told you not to stalk people?
It was actually it was back at Supanova actually. It was during the Star Trek Continues panel. It was just after they aired episode 3.
Nice.
The Mirror Mirror episode, and they were doing Q&A afterwards, and I had the cast there, so Vic, Grant, and everyone else was there, and I got the mic. So I asked Grant, because he's Sulu, to do his best. Oh my! Grant just put his palm in his face, and the rest of the cast was just laughing at him.
Yeah, one day
he did do it.
One day he is probably going to take over to Kai's sort of current role in pop culture if he wants it, and I'm not sure if he wants that role. I don't think he sort of wants that to fill those shoes fully, but he's more than happy to give it a go. What else happened at Supanova? Had a good long chat to Tori and found out all sorts of cool things. Talked to some of the people who went to HawaiiCon. And word on the grapevine from them is that HawaiiCon was actually really, really good. It's sort of weird to have it's sort of weird to have that sort of feedback from a con that's totally different to what we've been sort of Brisbane. You don't normally sort of hear people going to HawaiiCon and then coming to Supanova. But yeah, there was quite a few people that when we were we were waiting in line for the 360 cam with Tori, that recognised her from that, and was sort of coming over and saying, "Oh my God, thank you so much for going to HawaiiCon. That was so much fun." And funnily enough, just a little while ago, they actually started their new Kickstarter. So if there's anyone out there who wants to go to HawaiiCon, jump on over to the HawaiiCon Facebook page, jump to their Kickstarter, and vote on what you want. Farscape, Doctor Who, Stargate, Star Trek, and Firefly, I think, are the choices. If I'm top of my head.
I hear that little Stargate whisper.
Somebody is subconsciously saying Stargate, who should really speak up so the microphone can pick her up properly.
It's meant to be subliminal.
Worst subliminal ever.
So that it's sort of good to get that sort of feedback, because normally you don't get third-party sort of feedback on what a con was like. So hearing from the fans that the con was good is sort of, it's really, really good. It sort of adds to that sort of to the sort of response. It's good. It's definitely good to get that feedback. Anyway, what else happened at Supanova?
Lots of walking.
Lots of walking.
Sure. My boots were breaking apart on Sunday with my Jedi gear.
Okay, here's a question. Supanova and Oz Comic Con, they were about, what, 2 months apart? Give or take? They were both held in the same building. Which one do you think was better?
Oh, this is easy. And I have a biased opinion on this, but mine's an easy answer.
Yep.
Yeah, the one
Mine will forever be Supanova. Supanova has been around a lot longer than Oz Comic Con. It was Oz Comic Con's first year up here, so they weren't as organised as what Brisbane is.
Yeah. But see, I felt the opposite. When I went to Oz Comic Con, I thought it was actually very well organised compared to when I went to Oz Comic Con down in Adelaide. When I went down there, it was
I've heard the Adelaide one.
Absolute cluster. But up here was better than either of the two Supanovas we get. Not even in the same sort of league. It was sort of so far beyond that. But I think Supanova, this year's Supanova, definitely sort of tried to bridge that gap and build up the difference. But if we compared Oz Comic Con to last year's Supanova at the RNA Showground, it's a no contest. No contest. Oz Comic Con wins hands down.
It's a good thing that they finally were able to get the convention center, because the management have been actually trying for years and years to get the convention center.
Yeah, it's just really hard to sort of do it.
Book it out, and then also they were able to book up all the halls. So they had halls 2, 3, 4 for exhibitors, and then hall 1 was a seminar room.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that Oz Comic Con had when it was there is that the week before that they were meant to go in, the convention center grabbed them and changed all the rooms they'd booked around. So originally Oz Comic Con was meant to be, if I remember correctly, wasn't meant to be hall 1 and 2, it was meant to be hall 3 and 4, the soundstage area, and the rooms at the end. About a week before they were meant to go in, the convention center said, "Oh no, you're now 1 and 2, which puts them right down one end of the building, and we're going to put something else in the middle, and then all of your talks and stuff are going to have to be right at the other end of the convention center." And that definitely made it a lot harder for Oz Comic Con, but I thought they did relatively well considering. So
does Oz Comic Con have weapons?
Yeah, Oz Comic Con sort of. Sorry, I forgot to mention, Alex has never actually been to an Oz Comic Con. So,
Sorry, I do it to everyone.
Oz Comic Con is sort of like Supanova for those who haven't been to one or the other. In a lot of respects, the big difference is Supanova gets mostly B actors. And they get a lot of them. So they'll have 10, 15, 20 people, but only one or two of them will be sort of top-of-the-line actors. The rest of them will be secondary characters or background characters, for the most part. That's slowly changing, but that's traditionally what Supanova has had. Oz Comic Con, on the other hand, has a lot fewer guests, but they tend to be A-listers, like Richard Dean Anderson, Amanda Tapping, Chris Judge. People who are main members of the cast of those series. Which means that celebrity-wise, they're two totally different beasts. One has a lot of people, but they're not as big name. One has fewer people, but they're almost always big name. Do you get that sort of feeling from it, or am I just totally reading the scenario wrong?
Well, Brisbane this year was very different to what it has been in previous years, because you look at the guests that they got for this year, and it was probably one of the best cards I've seen in a long time. Like Jack Leeson, who's Joffrey in Game of Thrones, Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime, Alan Tudyk from Firefly, and then you look at the voice actors that they had as well. Eren and Mikasa from Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that was really good.
Jeremy Shader, who is Finn the Human in Adventure Time.
That was cool.
And they also had Jeremy's band there as well.
Yeah, and it's sort of in the past, Supanova wouldn't really have those sort of lead people. Like Oz Comic Con had Orlando Bloom, had Christopher Judge, had Jason Momoa, had William Shatner, had all the sort of the big leagues. And the difference is that Oz Comic Con is generally more expensive as a result.
Yeah.
But you get more bang for your buck. Whereas Supanova is sort of not as expensive, but your money is spread over a substantially larger sort of area. So that's the sort of trade-off you have. And I like that. I like that sort of, they're not both trying to do the same thing.
No. The grief that I have with Comic-Con over Supanova, and this is purely from a cosplay point of view,
their cosplay rules suck.
Rules?
Absolutely. And it's not only that, but they don't enforce it.
Yeah.
Like, when I was at Brisbane Comic-Con this year, they pulled me up for my lightsaber. Now, my lightsaber is barely over a meter long.
Yeah.
Like, it is literally 1.01 meters.
Yeah.
Like, we actually measured it. There was a couple of people who got in who had 2 meter long sights.
Yeah, they probably were the Ruby size.
One was Ruby, the other one was the one from Naruto, with the Akatsuki member.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
But they didn't enforce it with those, so they just let them straight through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So purely that's just my thing.
Yeah, well, we had one of the guys was dressed up as the Viper from Game of Thrones. I was talking to him in the line before Supanova went in, and he had a staff that the guy had in the show, but he specifically made it to break down into 2 parts, so that he could actually carry it around compact in the showroom when he went in to do his photos, and just before he went in to do the photo, he could make it a full staff again, take the photo, break it back down, and they wouldn't let him have it. And he was far from sort of impressed by that. So
yeah, I could see why.
Yeah. So yeah. What was your favourite thing, Alex? I haven't really had a chance to sort of let you talk about that yet.
I guess besides the spear was actually meeting Tori. She's really nice.
Yeah.
She's really
a lot of the actors are really, really nice.
And so laid back. You don't expect it, but
oh, absolutely.
I actually talked to a few of them about the big hailstorm we had in Brisbane, literally the night before Supanova.
Oh, that was great.
Tori said she'd walked inside the building, hopped in the elevator. As she was going upstairs, the lights flicked. And she was like, am I going to get stuck in the elevator? What the hell's going on? The doors opened, she got out, she walked in her hotel room to see, because she walked in, it was blue skies.
Oh, she opens up the windows. Hello.
She walked straight to the elevator, went up to where the room she was staying in, hopped out, walked into her room, and there was golf ball-sized hail bouncing off the hotel windows. If that isn't welcome to Queensland, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I was talking to, because I was with the Parenter guys, and they one of them was actually asleep during the whole thing. How you sleep during that, I don't know. The other one was actually stuck in the city when that hit.
Wow, that would have.
So he was in the brunt of it, and he said normally if that was in America, there usually would have been like a tornado going past it, and he was like, and they was like, is that meant to be a tornado coming through or something?
Yeah, well, that's the weird thing about Australia. We get crazy weather, but only rarely do we actually get a tornado. And before that storm hit, I was actually headed back to my place, and I was a little bit sort of panicky. I wanted to get the car in the garage. I wanted to get it locked away and safe before it hit, because I could see the storm front rolling, which is never a good sign when it comes to Queensland storms. You know it's going to be bad. So I cut as many corners as I could and sped maybe a tiny little bit, a lot. And
we made it.
We were driving down the side road that leads down to where my complex is, and it was just starting to spit rain, and the rain that was coming down was, when it hit the windscreen and sort of spread out, was about 2 inches across. And to me, it's going to hail in about 30 seconds. So we got home, we drove down the driveway, just started getting really heavy rain as we're going down the driveway. And I'm just like, open the garage, open the garage, open the garage,
and I
open the
pressed the
garage.
wrong button.
She pressed the wrong button, didn't open the door.
No.
Finally got the garage door open, put the car in the garage. Alex jumped in her car, parked it next to me, and as the door was closing, it was that quick. So it hadn't been a minute, and the hail started coming down. So we were very, very close.
Yeah,
we were lucky. We were too far south to get any of the big, massive hail, but yeah.
I was in my house I was in my unit when it hit, and I had closed everything, and I wanted to check the aftermath of what the hail did, and the security screens on my window actually were torn from the hail.
Wow.
So there's now holes in my window going, oh shit, if it gets muggy around here, I'm going to have to close it, otherwise I'm going to have a mosquito infestation.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
So,
either way, I'm going to die.
So, I talked to, damn, I've forgotten his name. The dude that was sitting next to Tori that's been in Stargate Universe, Prison Break,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let me look up the guests, and I'll just try to find it.
Like, but I don't know his name.
Let me just get a guest list up quickly.
Yeah, we'll get his name in a second. Talk to him for a bit, and he said that he was sitting in the lobby of the hotel when it sort of happened. And he said all he saw was a chunk of tree, not touching the ground, fly past horizontal. And his first thought was, well, that can't be good. So he immediately sort of he immediately sort of went up to the window to get a better look, at which point the hotel staff came and go, no, away from the windows.
Going the wrong way.
This is going to be bad. And moved them all sort of to the back of the lobby, where closer to where the elevators were, for sort of protection in case it went really bad. But
yeah. I don't know if you actually noticed or not, but the convention center actually got hail inside of it.
I didn't notice, but I did notice the 1.5 foot of leaves entirely surrounding the place.
Yeah, the hail actually got in through the aircon vents because it was on a slant and it was all going sideways.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
It really is.
Yeah.
To be grateful, at least it wasn't at RNA showgrounds this year. That could have been fun.
Oh yeah, we would have turned up. It would have been, all the trees would have been upside down, and
we would have been swimming.
There probably still would have been a foot of hail on the ground because it's the RNA showground. Yeah.
Everyone would have been swimming the weekend.
Yeah. Okay.
Was that the place with all the mud that we went that time?
Yeah, the time that we were there in the armor and it started raining and we all became purple.
Yeah.
Only problem with my armor that I made up it up for a Terra Nova short film that I never actually made. There is some test footage on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out.
Someone put food dye on it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying who did that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not that. It's the armor itself when it came was bright red. It needed to be blacky green in order for it to match the color of the show. And tried multiple ways of getting the red out, and the red wasn't going anywhere. So I got the shits with it and just spray painted it black, which worked. It looks really nice until you start sweating in it, at which point the color bleeds through onto you and it looks like someone has beat the living crap out of you. Which means that if you want to get it off, you've got to have a shower with metho, which is always fun and slightly burny.
I got all mine off.
Yay! So Alex wore that armor yesterday, and yeah, she got a bit blue around the arms, and
yeah.
So
Did anyone start singing? Did anyone start singing the song? She's blue, da.
Oh God! Why do you
Basic.
torture our one listener for? Hello,
I think
listener.
that's me.
We see you. Hello.
I'm watching you.
Watching you.
Disappears.
That's what happened last time.
Oh.
Anyway, we're going to jump away to our first ad break. We'll be back in about a minute or so, and we will catch you guys then.
What's the best gift for the fangirl or fanboy in your life? Why, passes to HawaiiCon, of course. The 2015 4-day pass is on sale now through December 31st and makes an amazing present that will give out-of-this-world memories. You can get an extra special present via the Kickstarter campaign, where you can help pick the stars who will appear at the next event. You can choose stars from Doctor Who, Torchwood, Stargate, Firefly, and Farscape. To purchase tickets or more information on the event, visit HawaiiCon.com.
Before there was dust, before the air became poison, before the companies, strays, dragons, smugglers, and thieves, will they prevail? www, the Star Crystal. Remember, dare to blink, and may all be gone.
Hello and welcome back. We're back with Alex.
Yes.
And almost called you Donovan. Stuart. We're back with Stuart. I'll get it right.
Now.
So Stuart is our resident Jedi, and we've tasked him with going through the.
Any relation to Family Guy?
Going through this Star Wars Force Awakens trailer and giving us a full breakdown on what he thinks is happening and why. So this segment is 100% yours, Stuart. Take it away.
Alright, so I'm gonna start at the beginning and just work my way to the end. So first things first, Black Stormtrooper. I think he's rogue. I think he's gone rogue. I don't know how. I don't know where or why. But I think he's gone rogue. He's escaped to Tatooine, and I think he's panically looking around trying to see if there's any other Stormtroopers.
Oh my god, I know why. He didn't stop and ask for directions.
No.
Also,
I like the meme that's floating around. It's like, those aren't the droids you're looking for.
Those were the droids we were looking for! Secondly, the rolling astromech droid. I'm still confused on that. I have not been able to figure out what that was.
They see me
It's
rolling, they hating.
It's not R2 because R2 and 3PO are in the movie, so it's a new astromech droid.
I've got a feeling it's sort of similar to the mouse droid that we saw in the Imperial ships.
I love those.
It could be like a little one of those that just happens to be playing soccer at the time.
I love those. Those are great. Like, I love those in the movie. It's like, and then one of us he's chewing. He's like, it's like,
and just runs away. That was
yeah.
funny.
You did that
All right,
too well.
So. Alright, gotta remember what's next. The Stormtroopers. Stormtroopers look awesome. I knew that there was gonna be that they were changed.
Yeah.
Because that was already released, and I think that looks really cool. And I think that's actually a dropship they're gonna come out the back of.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Alright, now we move on to probably my favorite part of this. the chick with the new looking single speeder on Tatooine.
The pod
I
racer
think
looking
she's
thing.
yeah. I think she's force sensitive. I think Luke finds her somehow and trains her in the ways of the Jedi. I think she's force sensitive.
That's intriguing.
Yes.
Because I don't think it's going to be Han and Leia's child. I think she's going to be force sensitive to Tatooine somehow. And I think
what is it with Tatooine and force sensitive people? It's like, well, let's go into the desert and get super funky mind powers. It's like,
well, I don't
think form of shroom there that you eat it and your kid comes out with superpowers.
Well, I don't think she's gonna be like Luke when it comes to the Force. He's more manipulating people. I think she's gonna have some sort of mechanical, technical ability.
So it's sort of more like an Anakin-esque type level ability, where she's really good with machines and that sort of thing.
Moving on next to the X-Wings.
Yeah.
X-Wings awesome?
That looked awesome, but it was also a very, very Abrams shot.
Yes.
Like some of the visual effects, like the X-Wing and the Falcon, which I'm sure you're about to get to me, it didn't seem, lack of a better descriptor, Star Wars. Like, I'm a massive hypocrite in this scenario. I actually really enjoy the new J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, which a lot of Star Trek fans don't, but I actually really enjoy them because I can see them as separate to the rest of the Star Trek stuff, and I can understand all that stuff. But walking away from this trailer, there was that sort of weird feeling where it was Star Wars, but it wasn't. And,
well, I think the planet they're on, because they're skimming over water, I think that might be Corellia.
Yeah.
Which is Han's home planet.
Yeah.
I don't know if the pilot in the X-Wing is actually meant to be Luke or not. I can't really it goes too quick, so I can't confirm. I'm always wanted just to say it's a Porkins ripoff, but because everyone loves Porkins. Now we come
which
to
makes me think of the Family Guy Star Wars episode where they're doing all the call-ins. And you see Porkins is like an X-Wing, and he's bigger than the X-Wing, and it's sort of grinding along the surface of the Death Star, trying to actually fly, and that's what makes it blow up.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Alright, then we come to the Sith Lord, or the Sith. Now, I think that the voiceover is the Sith. And I think that the Sith is, and I'm probably going to get the name wrong, is his last name wrong, is Andy, is it Serkis or Chirks? He's Gollum in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
So I think he's the Sith Lord, and that lightsaber design, how it goes, how the blade comes up, and then there's two little ports on the side.
Yeah.
I have two theories of that. Either A, they actually extend and become blades, and then it's like a sort of a Psy-style lightsaber.
Someone's gonna die. You'll probably end up being the person wielding it.
Yeah, that would probably be catastrophic. What I could see is those two little side blades spinning around and forming like a deflecting sheath.
Or getting cut off.
Yeah.
Or B, and this is what I think the B is the more of the answer, is during the very early stages of the Sith, they didn't have their lightsabers actually have exhaust ports on them. They didn't have the pieces to keep it cool back in the old Sith days. So I think it's based off that kind of design.
That'd be pretty cool. Because if you look really closely at the blade and the two little side blades,
they're different
together. They look different. They've got a different sort of appearance. The two side ones look more like flames than lightsaber blades.
Exactly.
But they also don't line up with the bottom of the main blade. They sit a little bit lower, which to me says their ability to deflect a lightsaber away from taking the tip of the lightsaber off is pretty much useless. Because all you've got to do is slide down to those deflector bits, slide down a little bit, and you've taken the main emitter out, and then no more lightsaber. And it's all thanks to the design of your enemy's lightsaber. It's like, to me, that's a major sort of design, sort of, yeah, seems legit.
Alright, then we get on to the Millennium Falcon and the TIE Fighter battles.
Yeah. Have you seen the George Lucas version of the trailer?
Yes. Flies into many, 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 many TIE fighters.
Yeah. And the dude who activates a lightsaber, it's a double-ended lightsaber of that same
With two,
style.
yeah, they basically just did a mirror version of it and just added it on the other side.
The X-Wings flying across the lake, you see C-3PO and that drive across.
I thought the funny one is it's the shot on the X-Wing and he dodges the blaster shot.
Yeah.
I think that battle may be on Corellia or may be on another planet. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, we know that there's going to be walkers in the movie because we've seen that stuff in the like on set, like the set previews. We've seen those bits and pieces from the walkers.
Yeah, we've seen the chicken walkers in the AT-ATs and the ATSTs. So I love that they were nicknamed chicken walkers. I always love that term. I'm trying to think if I missed anything else important.
I like how everyone thinks the voiceover is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, he does.
What?
Is that his name?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, the dude who played Sherlock, the dude who plays Smaug, the dude who played Khan in the most recent Star Trek movies.
Yeah. Cumberbatch.
Yes.
Cumberbatch. Well, not Cumberbatch, Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
But people have jokingly called him Benedict Cucumber Patch.
So, yeah. He's probably one of the few people I would love to see go to Supanova or Oz Comic Con, probably. Because Oz Comic Con gets his level of people more than Supanova
Well,
does.
Benedict is meant to have a cameo in the movie, so...
That'd be pretty cool.
So he could be the voiceover again, I'm not sure. I'm just going on what my opinions are.
Yeah. So...
I also think, and then we haven't seen it, but I still think somehow Palpatine will somewhat be involved.
Yeah, to be honest, I would prefer if they moved, and like this is what sort of disappointed me about the movies a bit, was how they're still sort of including Han Solo, and it's meant to be a Han Solo-centric story, is what JJ was talking about when he first was talking about the story. It's like when Han Solo was hurt, we knew that it was going to be delayed, it was going to be really bad, and then they made a wish with the 7 magic Dragon Balls, and he was fixed, and the only way I can think of him getting healed as quick as he did was Dragon Balls or
I don't know, Luke could have healed him with the Force.
Dragon Ball
why does no one think of that, ever?
Because it's the Force.
And yet there were healers in the Force in the old days, so it wouldn't surprise me. There's also another rumor going around with Luke, is that he's sort of gone in exile after the movies, and that he reemerges sort of stronger in the Force, like more of like a Yoda style, where he uses the Force more than his lightsaber.
Yeah. That's an interesting idea.
I think they're gonna, since the books are no longer canon, the whole extended universe books are no longer canon, I think they're gonna take aspects of the books and then sort of rework them a bit.
Yeah. See, again, that sort of falls back into where I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I see no issue with them decanonizing all of the Star Trek books, Star Wars books.
Oh, now that's how you piss off an entire fandom.
Oh, I know. But see, because I've always viewed everything as the primary source material is the primary canon, and the primary source media is the primary canon. So if it was a TV show like Stargate, the which started off as a movie but became a TV show, rebooting that I have no issue with, because it was originally a movie before it was a TV show. So that movie universe takes priority over the TV show before the TV show even starts. Star Trek, the TV show takes priority over the movie.
Oh, yes.
Because it started as a TV show. And even though the movie's been rebooted and it's a parallel, inverted commas for radio, timeline, doesn't sort of detract from the TV show itself. Some people get really upset with reboots, and overall I have no issue with them. But again, when it came to that preview of the Star Wars that we watched with the black stormtrooper, and which I've no issue with him being black, no issue with that whatsoever. It was just the way that it was sort of framed, and it was acting, and it was the way that it sort of was on screen was very clunky. Lack of a better word, it sort of.
Monkey.
It's like when I first saw the trailer, I wasn't sure if it was legit, and I was a little bit sort of like, is this a fan-made one? What's going on with this?
I was confused the first time I saw it. I was like, wait, what? I did jokingly say to my girlfriend at the time, it's like, they're not going to kill him off first, are they? Because they always seem to kill the black guy off in movies.
Well, he's not wearing a red shirt, so we should be okay.
Ouch!
Well,
I know what that was shots fired towards. I may be a Star Wars guy, but I still know what that's all about. Always killing the red shirts.
Anyway, it's about time we jump off to our second ad break. When we come back, we will be talking Jurassic World.
Yes!
So, we shall see you straight after the break. And we will also be playing the Jurassic World audio from the Jurassic World trailer at the end of the break. I was meant to do the Star Wars one.
Before the air became poison. Before the companies. Strays, dragons, smugglers, and thieves. Will they prevail? www. The Star Crystal. Remember, dare to blink and it may all be gone.
What's the best gift for the fangirl or fanboy in your life? Why, passes to HawaiiCon, of course. The 2015 4-day pass is on sale now through December 31st and makes an amazing present that will give out-of-this-world memories. You can get an extra special present via the Kickstarter campaign, where you can help pick the stars who will appear at the next event. You can choose stars from Doctor Who, Torchwood, Stargate, Firefly, and Farscape. To purchase tickets or more information on the event, visit HawaiiCon.com.
I'm really proud of you for going on this trip.
You're gonna have so much fun. And remember, if something chases you,
We have learned more in the past decade from genetics than a century of digging up bones. A whole new frontier has opened up. We have our first genetically modified hybrid.
You just went and made a new dinosaur? Probably not a good idea.
Almost 40 feet high. Really think she climbed out?
Depends.
On what?
What kind of dinosaur they cooked up in that lab. Evacuate the island. She's a highly intelligent animal. She will kill anything that moves.
Oh, God.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, David, and joining me is Alex.
Yes, hello.
I've just, note to self, fill you with coffee before I have you on this next time. So that,
Or not have her.
Yeah, and we also have an annoying other person who's joined us, Stuart.
Yeah.
So
I'm back.
We just pretend he's not here. After all, he totally screwed up the Star Wars segment.
I admit I made a mistake. This TIE Fighter Millennium Falcon fight scene was on Tatooine. I had a look at the trailer during the ads. I fucked up.
Haha. Victory.
Well, at least you can admit when he fucks up, David.
Shut up.
Wait, hang on. We're supposed to
swear. I told Alex it's meant to be PG-13 for the most part. So, yeah, great skills.
It's the one bad word I've used the entire time. Jeez.
Yeah, and then she said it, and now she's just gone bright red, and she's buried her head in her hand, and she's just gone quiet. So, anyway, back on topic. Our current topic is the Jurassic Park... sorry, I'm going to do that a lot. The Jurassic World preview. The JW is not as cool looking as JP, just saying. If you're out there, whoever decided to call it Jurassic World, you're an idiot. JW does not go together as well as JP. JP looks spectacular as one unifying symbol. JW just doesn't work. You failed catastrophically. You're fired.
Yeah, the W is too big. Yeah. It doesn't look right.
Exactly. You're fired. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you work for. You're fired now. Because I said so. And I'm a god. So, you're fired. So, anyway. On to the trailer breakdown. First few seconds, I'm assuming introduces the main kids from the story because they're shown throughout the trailer. And it's sort of mummy and daddy sending them off for a fun time in the park.
Yeah,
so.
Sending them off temporarily.
Yeah.
Inverted commas.
Yeah, and I class them as sort of monster bait because all of the dinosaurs are going to somehow find a way to find them and try and kill them. You see them go across on the ferry, jump on a maglev train, and go through the giant Jurassic World gates. And it then immediately pops up with the park is open, and the first thing I thought of was the episode of The Simpsons where they're flying to Itchy and Scratchy Island, and you hear the pilot go, because nothing can possibly go wrong. So, yeah. Anyway, now, a lot of the dinosaurs I'm going to name are just off the top of my head. They may or may not be what they're called in the movies, but I'm naming them based off dinosaurs that have been in the Jurassic Park games and mentioned here and there. So the first attraction we see is a safari ride that looks like an homage to the original Jurassic Park, where you see them driving through a field of Gallimimus, and the Gallimimus are running around the vehicle just like they were doing in the original sort of Jurassic Park movie when the kids were being led through that paddock before the T-Rex took one out. The next shots of them kayaking down a river, sort of like when they went down the river in Jurassic Park 3. And on one side of the river you see stegosaurs and what looks like either baby brachiosaurs, like smaller sauropod brachiosaurs, or what was in one of the games, Camarasaurus, which is sort of a smaller version of the brachiosaur, but it's its own independent species. It's got a stubbier tail, a slightly smaller neck. It's probably about a half-sized brachiosaur, and you see them sort of lining the river as they're kayaking down. Lastly, we have them going for a ride through the fully grown sauropods, which I'm assuming are brachios, just because in the original movie they were called brachios. And you see them riding through this sphere. Then we move on to probably my favourite shot of the trailer.
A dead shark.
You see a shark hanging above the water, and you're like, what the hell's going to happen here? And then you see the shape, and my first thought was Tylosaurus. And sure enough, as it jumps up out of the water, it's a fucking Tylosaurus. For those who don't know dinosaurs, Tylosaurus is the largest known swimming carnivore. This thing puts even the biggest sharks to shame. It was huge. And I like it how they're sort of using a shark as bait for it to sort of emphasize how big this thing really is. Then it sort of moves on to the sciencey side of things. It shows the gene splicing and all that sort of stuff. And even though we know that due to the half-life of DNA, cloning a dinosaur is effectively impossible at this point in time, at least, they went ahead and they've created this hybrid dinosaur, which we sort of, the only hint we really see is a really quick flash of feet and claws. And those claws look very similar to something like Spinosaurus, Suchomimus, Baryonyx, sort of big, massive hand claws, a lot bigger than the Allosaurs and the Carcharodontosaurs, or even sort of the Acrocanthosaurus-sized claws. And so it's definitely bipedal, it's definitely got at least some theropod in it, and it's definitely huge. It scales a 40-foot, which works out to be about 15 meters, if I remember correctly. So between 12 and 15 meter high wall without too much effort. And we know it's not T-Rex because the hand claws are too big. We don't know what its head looks like. We got a sort of rough outline. Then we do the standard horror movie sort of running screamy shots where there's people running and screaming and
the running screaming shots.
We see sort of a broken sphere with some blood and gore, and obviously some visitors have been taken out, and that's probably their first warning. But last but not least, the last shot of that teaser made me probably the most excited out of all of it, and there was a lot of sort of high points, like the Tylosaurus was
nerd.
But shut up, you. The last shot of him riding on the bikes with the Utah Raptors. They'll probably call them Velociraptors because of the sake of the first movie, but given the size, they're Utah Raptors. They look like trained security raptors. You want a guard dog? This thing will eat your guard dog without trying. And if they're trained and they're actually helping this guy, which is what it looks like, that is gonna be awesome.
I'm gonna need about 10 of those.
Yeah. I'll have one as a pet. It can eat the birds, and then I don't have to put up with them anymore.
Aww.
Noisy birds. For those who haven't heard, I've got 2 very annoying birds who I'm surprised are actually being very quiet right now.
I was trying to teach them the Mockingjay whistle, just because I know you hate it.
While
you're at work. No, you were out somewhere, and I'm like, oh yes, I'm gonna try and teach you.
I was at Supanova.
That's right, yeah, you were gone all day.
Yeah, I was on Saturday when I was at Supanova.
When we were in line for Supanova, like, want to do the armbands up, everyone's doing the Mockingjay symbol. And I was just the other one going, Hail Hydra!
Yeah, see, there's now effectively 3 movies I'm really looking forward to next year. 4 movies if you include The Hobbit that comes out next month, which is effectively the end of the year. And you've got Avengers,
yes,
Jurassic World, and
Peter Pan the musical.
And the show has been derailed
horror
again.
movies, things that scare us.
What was the third one? I've forgotten the third one. We only just talked about it. Star Wars. Star Wars. How could I forget Star Wars? So next year it's effectively Avengers, Superman versus Batman, which I'm honestly not very excited for. I will watch, but I'm not very excited for it. I've forgotten them again. Jurassic World and
Star
Wars.
Peter Pan the musical.
Peter Pan the musical! I really can't wait for that. That's going to be absolutely awesome.
Terrifying.
It's going to be fabulous. So yeah.
What the hell's that Finding Nemo sequel coming out?
What?
They're making a sequel?
Yeah, it's called Finding Dory.
Yeah.
Oh, because she forgot where she is.
Yeah. Trust you to be looking forward to the Finding Dory movie. Here we are talking about cool things, and you have to talk about Finding Dory. I don't know. I don't know why I have you on this podcast, Stuart. I really don't.
Because I'm the only one that can dissect a Star Wars panel in a few days.
Yeah, but the problem with that is the Force is really weak in that one.
I've got a dissecting kit.
And there goes Alex back into the land of the creepy.
I was like, I have a lightsaber, I just dissect people with that. do you think I shave my beard all the time?
That awkward moment
Talk
when
about-
you get third-degree burns.
I was about to talk about getting a close shave. Eh? Eh?
Oh god.
Puns are back.
Oh yeah. Have you seen those Robot Chicken? Where Luke does laser eye surgery with the lightsaber.
Yeah, that was great.
And he's like, use the force. Put the blast shield down. I can't see anything. And you just see him hovering the lightsaber over a guy's head. And he goes, blah, straight through him. It's like, oh man, that's nasty.
Kind of reminds me of something else, like on Dead Space, where you like stick the needle in your eye.
Ooh.
Was it Dead Space 3 or 2? I know they're
I love Dead Space.
So
best.
what?
I love dismembering things.
Okay, 4 minutes left. Let's swing back and do a bookend on Supanova. Alex, if you could have one person go to Supanova, anybody, who would it be?
Anybody in the world ever?
Ever.
Do they have to be alive?
Sure. I really don't want to start a zombie apocalypse at Supanova. There's too many people that really wouldn't end well.
Do they have to be alive afterwards?
Mostly.
Get out!
Does that mean you plan to kill someone at Supanova?
Never! I'd never do that. Not with so many witnesses.
From now on, I'm going to call her Ryan Haywood. For those out there who don't get that joke,
yes! Mad King Ryan!
Watch the more Red versus Blue if you don't get the joke.
I think I'll have to watch more.
Well, technically it's Rooster because he doesn't actually have
Yeah.
Red versus Blue character.
Technically, you are definitely right. It is Rooster Teeth, not Red versus Blue, but close enough. So, yes. Anyway, who would it be?
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of someone who's going to make it interesting, like spice things up a little, like Amy Sedaris or Stephen Colbert.
Stephen Colbert.
I know technically he's not sci-fi, but he is a very interesting man.
Oh man, that would be great.
Yes.
And have post the Colbert Report.
Oh my god, yes.
That would be brilliant. Colbert Report live from Supanova. That would be spectacular. Okay, Stuart, who would you have?
I'm gonna have two. One for everyone and one purely for me. Purely for me, it would be Ewan McGregor because I would love him. We would love to get Obi-Wan Kenobi here because we can't have Ceramic.
Of course you can. That'd be awesome. Me, I would go with Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick
Stewart.
Oh, and then you gotta have Sir Ian with him.
So you'll get Sir Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McGregor at the same
McKellen.
time.
No, McKellen.
McKellen, sorry. For those who hate me, just feel free to shoot me.
Let the hate mail begin.
Oh yes, send all hate mail to Stuart Hobson at...
Cool, I've already got some pre-written.
So yeah, what is your email so I can direct all hate mail there?
No! Send it to Alex, she'd be a PA.
So, yeah.
No, send it to DC because he never watches anything.
That's a fair point.
That was a low blow.
Low blow for a man who is not even here.
No, send it to me. I'll forward it all to Tony Abbott.
Leaving that alone. Okay. Anyway.
And on that bombshell.
Yeah, on that bombshell, that ends this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to skip over to the... Oh, that's a bit loud. Don't forget to skip over to HawaiiCon and check out their Kickstarter to make sure that to sort of give them a hand, get the show off the ground, and you can vote on whoever you want to be at the con and make donations and all the good stuff. There's all sorts of cool prizes and there's new stuff popping up on there all the time. Any last words, Alex?
I'll be watching you.
Alrighty then. Any last words, Stuart?
Well, she actually stole the line I was going to use. No, have a good week, everybody, and remember, the Force will be with you always.
Cough, never, cough, cough. Anyway, guys, have fun, and we shall catch you next